And good morning, Minecraft. This is Mr. Casarian, and welcome to another episode of Agrarian Skies. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing moderately well. So, I updated Agrarian Skies finally, which means I got the bookbinder, and I got some more quests. So, I took care of the new quests that were added to Learning to Skyblock. I think the only one I really had to do was... where is it? I think it was the bookbinder one. Yeah, the librarian. So I just made myself a bookbinder. Just right-click, and I get access to any of my books. I swear this was to deal with the open blocks folks adding a new book every time their mod updates and driving everyone a little insane. We also got some mod additions. I believe Bibliocraft was added in. And we got some new quest trees, too. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so we got this steel power one that I haven't even looked at yet. And we got bragging rights. Now you can see I already completed one of bragging rights. Okay, I did the thermal expansion one, and I already claimed the reward. Did I claim? No, I didn't. Now I've claimed the reward. Awesome. So I get a green heart canister, which is a permanent health increase. Awesome. And I got a reward, an epic level reward bag. Let's see what I got. Very nice reward. A thaumy embossed silverwood wand, and a wand focus of equal trade. Well, there we go. I have now... will not need to upgrade my wands anytime in the nearby future. Awesome. Okay, that was pretty nice. Now we're working on one of the power quests. Let me get an export bus out of here. And let me get some ME cable. Because we're getting one of our hoarding quests, quote, near infinite power, taken care of. Which is why I've set up this little system. Now, I had to craft this energetic infuser for one of the other mods. We're not going to use export bus, we're just going to drop these guys in. I ended up creating the energetic infuser for the bragging rights thermal expansion quest, which has you make pretty much one of every thermal expansion item that there is. You know, just to make sure you know what you're doing. It's also the reason I got this tesseract, and I'm just storing them in here for right now. Alright, so let's store that, store that, store that, store that, store that, and that can go away, and that can go away, this. Thermal fanboy. We also get this sign as a reward, and I'm actually going to take this sign, and I'm going to stick it all the way back over here inside the house, because, well, I don't know if it loses its description when you break it, or whatever, so we're going to shove it right there. Oh. Thermal fanboy. Done. Okay. Apparently you don't have to put those down. You just get them as an item. Alright, whatever. I'm not too familiar with how signs are supposed to work, actually. Or how they work when you're renamed. I don't do adventure maps much. I've never done an adventure map. I should do a Vex map at some point. It's kind of like a rite of passage sort of thing. Okay, so now that that's done, let's get our resonant flux capacitors out of here. All 1.5 billion that I had to craft. I didn't want to get the fireworks out. I wanted resin. There we go. Yeah, we had to go up to a full 30, by the way. Which is kind of a few. You can also see I got a bow. I got that resonant strongbox I'll be using quite a bit, probably. So let's drop this stuff off. And that Invar battle wrench. Alright. There we go. I believe I now have 30 of these sitting in my inventory. I hope I have 30 in my inventory. So now all we're going to do is with this little system, we're just going to throw them all in there. And they're going to start charging up in the resonant flux capacitor. And that's going to take a nice long bit of time for us to work out. Alright, 30 flux capacitors, each one holds 10 million RF. It's going to be a while. Oh, you all see that this guy got upgraded to a resonant energy cell? Right. Now the one thing I'm worried about here is, let me drop this down a bit. Let's call it 600 RF per tick. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 800. So I'm producing 800 RF at 600. That gives me with a buffer. Okay. I just don't want my ME system to decide to shut down in the middle of this and leave me without any sort of power or, you know, yeah. That would be bad. That would be very bad. All right, so let's check on a few other things while we're here, because apparently this is a for the hoarding quest sort of day. Now, I need... Okay, I'm close. I need another 400 sand. So maybe by the end of the episode we can get that started. Oh, I know what we can do. Hold on. I know exactly what we can do here. Just to boost that a little bit. Because I would rather not. Alright, let's open that up. Let's get that servo. And an item ductor too. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's come over here. Because I realize that I have this thing running, right? And I'm not really using all of the sand that this thing's producing. So let's break that. Let's put that there. Let's get a touch of sand. Right? Store it. Connect it. And I put my wrench away, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. Let's run over here, because we want to set that thing to be in dense mode, right? We don't want that. We don't want anything going in there before the other conditions are all satisfied, before the oak barrels have been filled up. So let's switch that to dense. And I wonder. That's 258. All right. So we'll let that go, and probably that will nicely increase the amount of time it's going to take for us to get that all set up and for us to complete that. So let's take a look at... Okay, I'm not going to do any more bragging rights stuff because that's just going to be a pain in the rear end. What else do we have in hoarding? Nope. Hoarding. We're working on that. We could do digital storage, which is our ME stuff. Ooh, that's not a terrible idea. Ah, okay. It's actually a pretty good idea there. Let's get started with that. Okay. So let me figure out... Calculator. Yes, I am presently on the Google. I'm presently on the Google. Okay, cube. I want a 3x3 or one a 5x5? I want a 5x5. Okay. So let's get this started, shall we? The molecular assembly chamber is a auto-crafting component from Applied Energistics, all right? And it's actually pretty awesome. Now we're going to need 44 of these. This will be really embarrassing if I run out of resources partway through this. So let's see. Okay, so we need 44 containment walls. And then we're going to need some heat vents. Oh, right, I can't do it down there because I'm in synchronized mode. So let's take a look at heat vents, shall we? Now we're going to need some iron bars and ME cable for these. All right. Okay. So let's come back here. ME cable, Fluix dust. I'm going to wind up low on redstone, I know it. Redstone has been the bane of my existence lately. Okay. And now we just need some iron bars. That's probably way too many, but whatever. And then we're going to need to get 54 of these. And I apologize for the rampant sound of my clicking, but I'm kind of afraid of shift clicking out of this thing and having it make, you know, everything. Okay, so we're out of ME cable. We need another... That's not going to be enough. want to do it that way. I want to do it with this recipe. Excuse me. I want to do Fluix dust with this recipe. Thank you. Oh, I ran out of nether quartz, didn't I? Well, that will take me about 10 seconds to fix. Okay, so let's just pop that in here to be ground up. Perfect. Open that up, and then I'm running out of glass too, aren't I? No, I have plenty of glass. Okay. So let's get heat. Here we go. There we go. There we go. There's that. Heat vent. We're up to 40. Oh, and we actually did run out of iron bars. Look at that. I thought that would be the last thing I could possibly run out of. So the one downside... Ha! Perfect. Okay. There we go. So let's start putting this together. And we don't have everything we need yet, but we're pretty close. Okay? This is actually the most complicated part of building this thing. So let's drop down here, and let's stick this somewhere. You know, there's actually not much going on the other side of this wall. Easy way to get a stack, huh? Let's just do that. Perfect. Okay. So let's put it in... Oh, this is one unit. Okay. Let's see. I want to put it right here, but there's too much crap in the way. So you know what we'll do? We'll do it over here. Sorry, allergies. Alright, let's get ourselves a builder's wand. Oh, right, okay. Let's just build over here. So... let's just get that. And we'll expand out like this. Beautiful. Alright guys, I'll be right back in just a minute. And we're back guys, and as you can see my inventory is just a little bit cluttered. But there's a reason for that. Alright, so let's get some hardened conduit. So the first thing we're going to do, before we get back to that ME system, which I just produced everything else I need for, is we're going to connect something up over here. Alright, so let's open this thing, let's set that to output. We're going to come over like this. And then we're going to take our two cyclic assemblers. Alright, so like that and like that. Beautiful. And then we're going to take a hopper and get it on top like that. And then a deep storage unit. Awesome. And that's filled up with sand. And that sand should now be filtering into the cyclic assembler. Perfect. I could use an item duct for that. I actually probably should use an item duct for that now that I think about it, but whatever. Alright, so what are we going to do with that now? Well, we need to get some schematics. Now, as a matter of fact, schematics are pretty easy. They're blue dye and 2 pieces of paper. But they have a really cool function in the cyclic assemblers, because these things are basically automatic crafting. Now let me configure these properly. I want that to be the output, and I want that to be the output, like that. Okay. So this should all be filtering down now. Perfect. And we're just going to place our schematic into the cyclic assembler. And over here, we're going to tell the cyclic assembler that this is the pattern it wants to use. It's making compressed sand. So we'll say, yes, go and do that. It's now going to make compressed sand and send it down to our second cyclic assembler, which we're going to tell that it's going to make double compressed sand. Beautiful. So once we get enough compressed sand, that'll be produced right there. And then we're going to take our bitter barrel and put that right there. All right. Now we need for this quest, let's see. If we go back out, that's not what we want. We want sands of time. We need 100. All right, so that's going to take a little bit of time, mostly for that to filter down. Honestly, I think the main limit on it, yeah, it's this thing. All right, so let's just pop that off there. Let's throw that in there. Getting stuff out of DSUs can be a little bit tricky some days. So let's get... Oh, I already have an item duct. All right, do I have a lever? Oh, I have a pneumatic servo. That's almost as good. Actually, that is as good. And remember, when you wrench up the item ducts, you do not lose your pneumatic servo. So you're all set. All right, so let's get our Invar battle wrench. Let's flip that over. We need an empty hand to configure this. And we're going to ignore redstone. So now that should be pumping items in much faster than we would see with anything else. Beautiful. And we're going to start getting our compressed sand. Okay, so now we turn back to this thing. All right, so you can see the basic pattern here. All of the corners, the bounding sides, have to be these containment walls. The actual sides are the heat vents. All right, now the interior has to be completely filled with either pattern providers or crafting CPUs. Pattern providers hold the patterns that you'll use for the crafting, and we'll get to that once this thing is formed. The crafting CPUs allow multiple threads to be run at the same time. So multiple crafting jobs, at the same time. Basically speeds up the process. All right, so we're going with 9 pattern providers and a bunch more crafting. I made too many crafting CPUs. Oh. Okay, well, we'll use them eventually. So let's wall this up. If I can click in the right places today, which apparently is difficult for me. And this should complete. Ding! It is now completed. See how we had 9 of those crafting providers, and we now have 9 of these pages? Perfect. That's basically what those do. Each additional pattern provider adds an additional page to your system. Now, where's the easiest place to add this? Right there. Okay. So let's go back upstairs. And this is a pretty big one for my initial start. But one thing I'm kind of noticing about Axe, guys, is that once you have automatic production set up, you don't really have to worry about it as much. Right? Once you have everything automated and you're automatically getting resources, you get a lot of resources. So I could go over here, but that's going to require me to go down a step. So let's come in from over here. And let's just hook it up right in the middle. Like that. And this is now hooked up to our network. Beautiful. Now what we're also going to do is we're going to come up here. And we have to make some of these blank patterns. Which are pretty cheap. Thankfully. And then we're going to also need a pattern encoder. Okay. So that's not too difficult. Oh, okay. We need one of these. All right, so let's slot that in here. Just to get that. And pattern encoder. We need a conversion matrix. Beautiful. And another crafting table. Awesome. And then we can get ourselves a pattern encoder. Now the first thing I'm going to teach this thing is how to make blank patterns. Alright, now how you teach this is pretty simple. Drop this down and put your blank pattern in here. Then you either put the items in, so I could say, I don't have any crafting. Okay, I could teach you how to make a furnace by doing this, right? Okay, clear. Or I could take my, actually let me do that again for you guys, just to show you something cool. Notice these are those shadow blocks. I can click encode, there we go. And I now have a blank pattern. Alright, if I put this back in, I can edit the pattern. You can also shift right click in your hand to clear the pattern out of the blank pattern. Or you can shift right click directly from any eye. Alright. And then we just open this up and pop that in right there. And now if we come back up here, I can tell this thing, notice I don't have any blank patterns in here, but it's telling me I can craft some. Let's make 10. Okay, we're apparently missing something. Ah, glass. We are probably missing glass. So let's get some sand and let's cook that up. Now, there is a way to auto-craft that, but we'll probably have to get to that in a future episode, alright? Just, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of that in the future. Alright, so we should have some... Excuse me. So you can see the blank patterns are in fact being crafted as soon as the glass shows up. But that's okay for right now. So for this, we can just keep encoding things in here and not really have to worry about it. So let's see what else we have in our quest book to take care of our digital storage. Oh, we're done. Let's claim the reward. I also got a yellow heart container, which is another heart health boosting accessory. And a full heart. I'm up to 19 now. Nice. Oh yeah, and we got some ME interfaces, which is useful. Very useful indeed. Alright, so let's drop this stuff off. And let me just make a quick notice on my little board over here. There we go. Just so I know which quests I completed in this episode. Awesome. And let's see what we got in our reward bag. It is a greater reward bag. Shiny. I'm not certain how I have those. Okay, there we go. Apparently my inventory decided to desync for a minute there. Alright, so let's do that. Let's see what's in our reward bag. 16 blackberry seeds. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but that's quite alright. So let's see downstairs how our Sands of Time system is doing. Should be all set then. So now let's shut... Oh, that's empty now. Okay. So now let's take out our bookbinder. And let's check out Sands of Time. Manual submit. And let's pick a reward bag and claim it. So I got 2 hearts. Awesome. I got some more cyclic assemblers, which is pretty decent. I'm just gonna yank this off and pull this thing off as well. There we go. And we're actually gonna put it back up over in our that workshop area because it's useful. Simply put, because that's going to be where most of our sand is going to be coming from in the future. Because it's a byproduct, and I hate wasting stuff. And yeah, I'm a little crazy. Don't worry. So let's just dock you back up there. Beautiful. You are not supposed to be connected. We do not want cobblestone in this network. We actually want sand in this network. There we go. And we can just convert our compressed sand back down as well. Because the compressed sand, honestly, doesn't do much for us in the long run. There we go, and there we go. Awesome. So now that part is actually all set and done. We don't have to worry about compressed sand anymore. Thank goodness. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got in our reward bags, shall we? Is there anything else sitting in here? No, okay. Actually, this is just where I'm kind of junking machines that I'm not using at this moment. So let's come back over to here. Let's drop this stuff off, and that, and this, and that. And put that down there. And I was originally going to use my QDS for that, but I decided, you know what? It's fine. Okay, so let's put that down there. Let's get that out, and this out. And I have 2 iron-capped wooden wands. I don't know how I have that. One of these actually has a Vise on it, so we'll throw the other one away. There we go. Alright, let's check out the first one. What is this? It is a good reward bag. Okay, but not great. I think I already got that reward. And a legendary. What did I get? Power Catalyst, Average, Mundane. I don't know what those are used for. Used in alchemy. Okay. Let's say okay and be done with that. Alright. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed 3 quests today. Well, I completed one off camera because I figured you didn't want to see me crafting every single item in thermal expansion. And I think that's pretty good progress. So, this has been Mr. Agrarian. I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, happy mining.